A Symphony of Horror reads the tagline of F.W. Murnau's 1922 film Nosferatu. This modern remake continues to prove that Robert Eggers is Beethoven with that shit. Eggers is a very interesting director because his stories can leave audiences a bit cold because of their isolating and esoteric nature. But one thing you cannot deny is this guy knows how to craft a haunting atmosphere. The characters in the film get entranced by Nosferatu and feel hypnotized by his will, and that quality reflects on the audiences. This film as a whole just makes us feel like we are in this hypnotic, dreamlike state with those characters. Much of this is due to Bill Skarsgard's performance as Count Orlock. He was able to train to lower his voice much lower than normal. Just the way he talks, the way he enunciates words and certain consonants really lulls you in. And talking about Skarsgard's Orlock, he really feels different from past vampires that we've seen in films. We're used to the Draculas of Bela Lugosi and Christopher Lee who look so slick and handsome and seductive. This version is far more horrifying. The makeup makes him look so dead and diseased. This is very intentional by Eggers and adds to the horrifying nature. He really looks like he needs a dermatologist ASAP. Saying an actor looks unrecognizable in a role when they're just under a little bit of light makeup always annoys me, but man, you cannot tell this is Bill Skarsgård under all of this makeup. They could have pulled any random dude from the street and you would not have been able to tell the difference. One change from the 1922 classic that I really appreciate is this story is largely told through Ellen's perspective instead of Thomas's. In the original, the character of Ellen doesn't start to play a major role until only about halfway into the film, and she's also really only concerned with Thomas, how is he doing? Is he going to be okay? She's not really making decisions about herself and for herself. Ellen really is her own woman in this movie and is making choices based on what she wants, what she desires, and what she needs to live a happy life. The film opens and closes with Ellen making choices for herself and not for other male characters. And this new perspective also leaves open a lot of room for interpretation with the themes. Something I thought of right after seeing it, and I've just been thinking in my head since, has been how patriarchal society was back then. This is in 1838 Germany, so naturally women didn't have very many rights. And so in the film, Ellen, when she starts to feel the pull of Count Orlock, she says her melancholy is coming back. So I felt like Nosferatu was kind of this manifestation of her depression, her loneliness, and her isolation from this oppressive society. And her succumbing to Nosferatu's darkness is because of that. This isn't something that I've read in deeply about since I saw the film, so it's not my polished thoughts. It's just kind of what I was thinking right immediately after seeing the film. And I'm really going to continue to unpack some themes with this. I cannot wait to see it again to gather even more information about this. But having the film told from her perspective really just opens up so many avenues of thought that were not previously there in the 1922 film, and I really love that. I also thought the film was just a feast for the eyes visually. I mean, the cinematography is just beautiful here. There were so many shots where I just started shaking my head in the theater going, God damn, that looks so perfect. Even if you end up not feeling connected to the characters like in other Eggers films, if you're not a particularly huge fan of his stories, you will just have a great time looking at all of the technical elements of this film. The way the film is lit adds to the dread of it all. Everything is shot with natural lighting. A lot of scenes are candlelit, so you're constantly looking into the shadows thinking, are they in a dream state right now where something's about to come out? it really just brings you into the film. The set design of all of this, many people talk about the castle which they built, and that's very impressive, but just the sets for the entire film, even when we're far away from the castle, are just really impressive. They capture this period so well, and man, this should be right up there in the winning conversation for production design, in my opinion. It was really well done, and it really added to the gothic terror that this film had. The costume design, very well done. The things that Lily-Rose Depp specifically is wearing. And that's another thing. Lily-Rose Depp as Ellen, what a performance. I could do an entire video just talking about Lily-Rose Depp in this film because she is just so good. Absolutely one of the best performances of the year, and I wasn't really expecting it either. I had never seen her act in anything, at least not to my knowledge. If it was just a small part. I had no clue she had these type of acting chops. I was a little worried that maybe she was only getting this opportunity because of her last name, but no, she brings her all to this role. The physical acting involved is just so creepy at times. There's one scene specifically between her and Nicholas Hoult. I'm sure you'll be able to think of the scene I'm talking about, but it is just so unnerving with how she's moving around. It is insane to watch. I really loved her performance in this. The performance as a whole as well, very good. The supporting cast, Nicholas Hoult was great as Thomas. Willem Dafoe added a little bit of humor to the film, which I was not expecting, but it was a very welcome addition considering how full of dread the entire film is. I thought he was really good. I've already mentioned Bill Skarsgård. A couple things that lost me at times were Aaron Taylor-Johnson's character. I'm just not really sure of. I'm wondering if that will clear up upon rewatch. It's very much a possibility, but I wasn't totally convinced of what he was doing and what his character's purpose was in the film. And I also do think the second act runs on a little bit too long. I really love slow burn horror films, but it felt like it could have been trimmed just a little bit in that second act to keep it going at a little bit better of a pace, but it wasn't something that impacted me too much. But overall, this film just really got to me and has just been marinating in my head since I saw it last night. It has been a little bit of a weird year for films, but this one really stands out among this year's best. Nosferatu, 4.5 stars. So that's it for my Nosferatu review, everybody. What did you think of this film? Did you think this was one of Eggers' best? Did you think this is one of the best vampire films that's really ever been made? I personally think so. Let me know your thoughts down below, and if you liked what you saw here today and you would like to see more, subscribe to follow the odyssey that is Oscar season.